I'm here, the one and only Platinum Mike Perry, victorious once again, getting the job done over another legendary fighter. Mike Perry, that was unbelievable at the weekend. Of course, went toe-to-toe with Eddie Alvarez, non-stop action. Unbelievable, Mike.
A little bit of a stop. There was a little, because there was 6 more minutes of regulation, and it stopped at the second. So,
yeah, I know, but dude, talk about a furious pace from start to finish. I mean, both of you, to be fair to Eddie Alvarez, both of you brought it. I see the face is still healing up. Were you still pretty?
Yes, sir. He did. He came in with some little jabbies and things like that. But I'm not sure the balance of how much of it I was allowing. I knew that the pressure and the, just being there for him to hit, and no matter what, I was hitting him back with more power than he was hitting me with. I knew that would demoralize him, and I just didn't know how fast it would. And sure enough.
Yeah, I mean, but so I was commentating the UFC. I was in Texas, and then afterwards the fights finished early at 9:00. So I just managed to catch yours in time. I sat there in a steakhouse and I was watching it, and I couldn't believe it, man. I mean, what you've done, and we've talked about this before, but what you've achieved, what you've done in Bareknuckle is legendary. I mean, let's go through them. So we've got Michael Venom Page, we've got Eddie Alvarez, Luke Rockhold. Who am I missing?
Julian Lane. And I was told that I need to let people know about the Michael Seals fight. So I'm currently 5-0 in the past 2 years. Michael Seals was the Triller fight. He was a 27-3 professional boxer at the time that I fought him. And
right.
I got that win. And the MVP fight was probably the closest fight. Obviously, it's MVP. He's great. He's looking to do big things in the UFC right now. And all the call-outs and stuff, I mean, that I've done. I know he's trying to get in the UFC, and I hope that works out for him. But if it's not, then maybe there's a opportunity on the table for him to get a rematch, as long as it's big for the company and people actually want to see it. I mean, me and him had a great fight, and he did give me hell in there. And if he would want to try again, I'd fight him again.
And that's what I think people love about you, Mike. You know what I mean? There's not many people out there that have what you just described as your toughest fight. And Michael Venom Page is ridiculously talented. And I'll be honest, I thought he was going to give you problems. I thought Rockhold was going to give you problems. Do you know what I mean? Just given the size and how successful they've been. But here you are, welcoming it once again. Obviously, you had a lot of success in the UFC. What do you think it is about you, Mike, that is so suited to Bareknuckle? Because you're taking out legend after legend. What do you think it is? I mean, obviously, you're suited to this sport.
Well, I like to fight. I like to box. I like the hands. I like the footwork. I like the dress. I like the clothes. I like the shoes. I like, obviously, Bareknuckle, the way they put on the show, the way they treat me. It's nice to be respected and given the platform in the way that I am. And I live up to it. I go out there and I give them what they want. I don't, and I've learned a lot, through my UFC, through my ups and downs. Especially with the switch to the bare-knuckle boxing, it's like I dived into who I am, who I can be, what I'm good at, which is, it's fighting, it's entertaining. So let's bring it. Why try to be, something you're not? I don't like to take too much time in a fight. I think all the talk, all the lead up to a fight is taking a lot of time. So then when they like toe the line, knuckle up, and you go for it, try to go, like take them out. You know what I mean? Try to just walk through them and bring the heat.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you do that, Mike. You really do, man. That's why people love watching you fight. Tell me about, I mean, obviously, they're way different sports, right? Mixed martial arts and Bareknuckle. Completely different, as we know, but ultimately, it's still fighting. Tell me about the preparation for the two of them. Do you know what I mean? How do they differ for you? I mean, I know you haven't got to do jiu-jitsu and wrestling. I mean, that's obvious. But for you, when you're getting ready, how does a training camp vary? Or how is it different?
Well, I've always, I think that was where I kind of hurt myself a little bit in mixed martial arts, because all the training I would do for grappling and wrestling, and then I would get in the fight and I wouldn't even use it. And I feel like
Tell me about it.
Yeah, it hurts.
It's so fucking annoying.
It hurts your striking. I get in the fight and I just want to strike. I want to hit the guy. So that's where Bareknuckle and me get along, because it's because I can take it. Obviously, my talents are taking it and giving it. And, so in Bareknuckle, I skip all that and I go right from my most talented attributes and I bring it to you. I hit you. And if you hit me back, I just keep coming after you. And, I still do some mixed martial arts sometimes. Some guys at the MMA gym, I'll go and spar them. And if a guy like Lyoto gives me a round of boxing, I go back and I give him the kickboxing rounds to try to keep myself fresh from a guy like that. Lyoto is quite a capable athlete with his legs, and so I keep it fresh on my mind how to protect myself at all times. That's something they say in boxing, but it fits for any combat sport. You have to be prepared at any distance, at any range, against any body style, against any technical style, whether it be a brawler, a boxer, a fighter, a kicker, a wrestler, a jiu-jitsu guy, and my sprawl and brawl style has always been there. It worked for me well in MMA. And then when I got to, there were some people who, I was younger and I wanted this entertaining aspect in every fight that I went into, because that's just how I like to fight. So it's like I would think, oh, we're going to meet in the middle and we're going to scrap it out. And then guys had different plans, like, oh, it's kind of easy to fight me with a game plan because you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring it to you. And in MMA, there's a few more ways to deal with someone like me, where you can just point them, you be boring for a little bit, and then I might start running into some really troublesome or heavier shots that, then I have to back off or find some space. Or like, for example, the Alan Jouban fight. I chased him. I hit him with a couple of shots, and then when he hit me with any returns to slow me down, I remember I rocked him in the fight, and when I chased him across the ring to go try to get him out of there, he threw this awkward inverted crescent front kick that hit my gut, and it hurt my stomach so bad. I was like, what the hell? I was in the fight thinking, what the hell, dude? I thought I was about to have him, and now my stomach is killing me. So I just had to, and then at the end of the fight, I'm like putting my hands up like, come on, like, let's go. Let's fight me for 10 seconds, dude. That's all I need, So I've learned these things on it. That's the problem with time, right? Is like a 3 5-minute round fight. Those 5-minute rounds are extremely long. And, there's ways to go about the time in the fight where you can back up, you can assess, you can play your range, you can set traps. And in Bareknuckle, it's like knuckle up and go. You got 2 minutes, go. I love that.
Yeah, no, so do I. As I say, it was very entertaining. It's funny, you said a few things there that made me think. I mean, number one, training for MMA, you're absolutely right. You got to do all these things, but I was predominantly a striker, and I would train a lot of fucking jiu-jitsu. And my jiu-jitsu coach used to say to me, "What are you doing? Why do you never use any of your jiu-jitsu?" And it's like, well, you've got to do it because these guys are going to try and take you down. They're going to try and wrestle you. They're going to try and choke you out. So you got to do it. But if you ask me, first and foremost, I want to land my hands on somebody. Talk to me about this. It's one thing landing with the boxing glove. It's one thing landing with an MMA glove. But I know, because it's been a while since I've had a street fight, it's been a while since I've cracked somebody with the bare fist. You know when you throw a punch and it lands and it connects and you're like, ooh, that was a good one. How does that feel when you're landing with the bare knuckle?
I like it quite a bit. It's, man, the harder you squeeze that thing and you just shove it through their bones and try to penetrate them sexually with your fist in their face. Like I'm trying to face fuck you with my fist. So,
oh my God. Somebody showed me an interview, what you said the other night. What was it? Remind me. You know the one I'm on about. It was fucking hilarious. And it's something along the same lines now. What did you say after the fight?
Oh, it was after the fight. Oh, man, I said a couple things after the fight.
Oh, about the juices are going to be flowing or something like that.
Shit. I know before the fight on Helen Yee, I was like, oh, I'm trying to stuff him like a Twinkie, put this thing inside of you. After the fight, I was saying something about men got to stand up. We got to grab women by the pussy again. We got to.
Even at the old Donald Trump.
Yeah. You know, reference to him because hopefully he'll be the United States president next year. So we can get, because we need some strength in the office, man.
Wow. Yeah. I hear you there. I don't think Joe Biden's got any strength. That's for damn sure. I mean, mate, I'm proud of you. We had this conversation before and I told you, and I'm so happy it's working out. Financially, I mean, I'm not going to ask you for numbers, but I'm assuming you're a happy man.
Yeah, that was, I mean, on my new contract, that was just my first one, and they get better every time. And, you know, I got a lot of work left to do, especially as the king of violence now. A lot of people want to try to come after me and this and that. And actually, my realtor, shout out to my realtor, man. He said something today and he's like, yeah, everybody, and it's kind of like what T. Woodley says, everybody think they want some, they don't really want none, but they want the attention for acting like they think they do. And, you know, once they get in there, that changes. I break people's will. And my realtor said, you know, oh, we want to fight Mike, but we want to fight him out of his element. We want to take him. We want to change this rule. We want to take this. We want to do, we want to add this in there. We want to put gloves on. We want to do this and that and the other before we fight him so that we make it as hard for him as possible to have all his capable talents, like who, you know. So that's where the king of violence is going to kind of reign in the bare knuckle, where, you know, these guys want to add gloves or rules change or things like that. But you're not going to get the same show that you get what I did on Saturday.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, how many people would watch his bare knuckle? Because I know it's blowing up in popularity. You got any idea?
I think Feldman said there was about 18 million watching on Saturday. So it's blown up quite a bit. It blew up a lot after the Rockhold. I mean, the Rockhold was trending. The bigger guy thing was trending. Eddie Alvarez. I mean, it takes two to tango. You know what I mean? We both got to be believed in. We both got to have support systems and lots of people rooting for us and wanting to see, you know, how crazy it can go. So I'm sure the next one could be even bigger. Depends on what the name is.
The one and only Jorge Masvidal. I hear this is the guy that you're going after. I had to put my glasses in, by the way, my contact lenses.
Yeah, you had a little beef with him. You guys were about to bare knuckle fight in the hallway of a hotel room.
Well, a few times, and that's what you got to love about Masvidal. He doesn't give a shit. You know what I mean? We went at each other. We talked a bit of crap. He came after me in the hallway. He came after me in China. You know what I mean? We went back and forth. We had some fun. You know how it is. I couldn't give a fuck. And then I think I was in Uruguay for the UFC. And a lot of time had passed. It's water under the bridge. You know, I'm a fucking grown man. Who gives a fuck? It's a few bad words or whatever. And then we saw each other, and it was backstage at the weigh-ins. And we saw each other, and we just started laughing. Went over, gave him a hug, and said, how you doing? And that was that. You know what I mean? All good. I think he sent me some of his it's not tequila. What is it? Mezcal?
Yes.
Yeah, he sent me some of his mezcal. So shout out Masvidal. How close of a reality is that to happening?
I have no idea. I haven't heard anything from his side. I have spoken with him at his event before my fight, and I was a little drunk off of, I think, some of his mezcal. And
let's go.
I was talking to him like, hey, the people would love to see us do this shit, and we'll get the bag, and he's super dangerous, and that's why that's why I'm calling for that one. I'm calling the Robbie Lawler, or I need some, and that's why I said the MVP as well, because he actually has the experience. He learned lessons in there fighting against me, and I'm sure he thinks about that one sometimes, like the things that he learned and how he could do it differently, and so I want a tough challenge, a tough fight, someone that I can't just walk through all their fire and just bring them hell on the other side. Like, I need to be more defensive and more moving and slipping at my head and, things like that. I need to be smarter. I was quite reckless in there with Eddie, and I'm sure I'll still be reckless against those guys. That's why I'm able to get these wins, is because I'm willing to just close that gap and bring you the fire.
Well, that's exactly what I was just about to say, because, like, for example, Rockhold trains with my old coach, Jason Perillo, and I know for a fact that the game plan, and I wasn't in the training room or anything, but I had a few conversations with Perillo, and I know how he coaches people, and he's a former boxer himself. They're going to come up with a strategy. Rockhold's tall, he's long, use the jab, stay on the outside. But it's all well and good having a game plan. But when somebody like yourself comes at them, and it's just, and with respect, it's fucking all out aggression. Say, come on, let's have this. Let's throw down. I've got the stamina and the cardio to do this for 2 minutes straight until I get a minute off. It's hard to game plan against somebody like that, somebody like yourself.
Thanks. Yeah, I try to see all angles. I try to see, like, how or what they could do to possibly have success. And it's like, you can hit me with your most successful shot, and I just smile and just keep coming. Like, I'm gonna get you back. I'm coming to get you.
Well, you knocked Rockhold's tooth out. How are your teeth?
You're doing pretty
great,
good,
man. Look at that. The platinum grills. I'm just having a look here.
I think Lyoto caught me pretty good like a week before my fight with Eddie. Lyoto and Eddie are obviously totally different styles, body types, everything. But I figured sparring with Lyoto, he's going to hit me in a way that this little guy is not going to.
Yeah.
So I definitely went and I got work with Lyoto like 2 weeks in a row. He hit me really good the first week. And then I went back the second week and was like, I'm not going to let him hit me like that. And I didn't. But he did still catch me with one, and he was southpaw, so that straight left got in there. And, like, I remember after that day, I was like, damn, that one he caught me with, did that bitch loosen my tooth on the bottom?
So dirty Brazilians, man. Those fucking Brazilians. Hey, How's Lyoto looking? There's a name I haven't heard for a while. Obviously, a former champion. If anyone's new to the UFC world or MMA or whatever, Lyoto was the man. But yeah, how's he doing?
Definitely look up to Lyoto, man. He's sharp as a whip. He looks great he's 45 years old. He looks fantastic. He's strong as hell. He's always in good shape on the mats, kicking everybody's ass. And I like to go and give him some hell when I go to the gym and get some work with him. But he's great.
He still drinking piss?
I don't think so. I think he's they're making jokes about.
You remember that? Remember he used to drink his own urine?
Yeah, they make jokes about it all over. The Karate Combat, they made a joke and like he was like, Lyoto was like, you know what you have to do. And then the president like acts like he pees in a cup, and I'm pretty sure it was whiskey.
Apple juice or something.
Cheers, man.
How much would you have to get paid to drink your own piss?
But think about this, though.
It's supposed to be good for you.
I'm not drinking. I don't know. Money is. I might.
It's a big motivator.
If you pay me enough and it's my piss, maybe I'll drink it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's like you're going into a fight with a guy that drinks his own piss, dude. You think you could you think you could do anything to that guy?
That's a good point. That's a fucking great point. Yeah. You're going to get into this guy's head. You're going to talk shit. You're going to make him doubt himself. The man drinks his own piss. You should see what he does with his shit. Anyway.
We all eat a little shit sometimes out here.
And we need to, as human beings, as men.
They post a video. They talking about me this morning. There's a collab on it.
Who?
Morning Kombat with Brian Campbell and
Luke Thomas.
And I'm like, I feel like there's always a little dig in there. You know what I mean? Like always a little. Oh, he's great, but this guy was old, or this was that, or that was the other. And I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I'll collab it. Fuck you. I'll just accept that attention. Sure, bring it on, motherfuckers. Talk about me however you want. You know why? Because I got the belt, and you got to actually fucking hit me hard enough to make a difference. And it doesn't matter how hard you hit me.
Yeah. What was the dig?
Something about me being in my physical prime with this rule set to have, to all of my attributes and abilities, and I'm fighting aged legends.
Trying to make you the bare-knuckle. They're making you out to be the bare-knuckle Jake Paul.
Come on, I'm making them look this way. Like Eddie was obviously a better version of himself in this than the one that faced the Conor McGregor. He obviously learned from facing Conor McGregor. I remember sparring GM3, Gerald Mearshart, after he had his fight with Khamzat Chimaev, and he was not easy to hit. He obviously had been working on the striking since that happened to him. Not to say that Khamzat didn't go out there and do what he did, but like that's what teaches fighters who are willing to get back in the fire and learn from their mistakes. And then you got to deal with a harder, tougher guy. There's guys like Yoel Romero, Dan Henderson, who at 47 years old were still competing world titles and doing great things. So 39 years old is tons of experience. A good age. He comes in shape. We weigh in at 175 pounds. He looked a little bigger than me, and he was bouncy and fast. You
look good.
Thank you.
No, he looked good. You both look good. I'm telling you. I'm not just saying it because I'm talking to you. I was watching it and I was losing my mind. That was about as entertaining of a fight that you'll ever see. It really was. And the fact that Eddie was there, because it takes two to tango, right? You know what I mean? His chin stood up to the test. The man used to be he was a champion of the UFC, for crying out loud. And as you said, 39. I won the belt.
Guy to be champion in Bellator and UFC and won championship.
Yeah. I won the belt at 37, so 39. You know what I mean? It's not old at all. You did mention. Say again.
You're 37.
No, I won the belt at 37, bro. I'm almost 35. I'm 40. I'm old as fuck.
Oh. Hey, dude.
I fucking got it though, Mike.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
I'm in the best shape of my life. The best shape I've been in for a long time. I'm losing weight. What's that?
You said last time you like, I'll have a go.
I'll have a fucking go. I don't know about that. I'm joking. I don't know. I've got a broken back. I got no knees. I got one eye. I'm half retarded. Do you know what I mean? I think I've taken enough blows.
You're doing great at the commentating and just having a great time. Just being at all the shows, watching all the great fights. You did your shit, man. That's good.
No, I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky. You mentioned McGregor a second ago. Obviously, after the Rockhold fight, he got in the ring, squared up to you. I know that was probably just him enjoying himself. But is that something that you would like to pursue down the line?
Of course. The McGregor fight is a great fight. He's known for having hands. He fought a Floyd Mayweather. So in my opinion, if it's big enough, they can make it happen. And for the entertaining aspect, I obviously believe that that's big enough. But and Paulie Malignaggi was chatting shit to me on someone's post. I told him to shut his garbage ass up. And then he writes this long ass fucking paragraph. And then when I wrote him back, as soon as I wrote him back, he must have fucking what are they I don't even know what they call it. He pressed like, oh, I'm tattling. I'm telling on you for what you commented back. And then Instagram.
What, like reporting you to like Instagram or Twitter or something?
He reported my comment and they took it down. But I screenshotted it and I still have it. I told him, fuck you, like you're a piece of shit. But then I'm like, all right, they deleted my I don't even think I cursed. And they reported my comment. And I said,
What comment? What was the comment that was so bad that he had to go and report you to Instagram? Because I'll be honest, that's some of the biggest pussy shit I have ever heard of in my entire goddamn life. Hold on 1 second. I'm just putting my headphones in because I think I might be getting some feedback.
Oh.
Go on.
I said, nah, you're trash. I know how to act like a man. Oh, because he wrote me and said something about when Conor came in the ring, and he comes in with the BKFC belt and I care. Like I care, dude. I don't. And he's like, listen, I called Conor in there for one, the attention that it brings to the ring and my moment in that time. Two, for my friend, which I mentioned at the moment, I wanted to bring attention with someone like the face of Conor McGregor to my friend and his family and myself and all in that moment. And doesn't mean we didn't have a little heated argument at the time. Paulie Malignaggi's like, oh, you're a bitch for not grabbing the belt and fighting Conor right then at that moment. Then you don't get opportunities like that. That's Paulie Malignaggi begging for something in his life. That's him commenting back to me, begging for attention in that moment. As I told him to shut his garbage ass up, and then he writes a whole book. And I said, nah, you're trash. I know how to act like a man and speak facts. I can control myself and don't need to grab that belt. Mine's better. You're a garbage boxer in person. The company makes the fight, not me. I don't need to talk it up for you. Everybody's eyes will break before mine. So let's get a big fight, not one nobody knows, you little bug-eyed twerp. Keep hating, I'll keep breaking faces.
What's wrong with that? But there was nothing wrong with that.
TikTok removed a video I did shortly after the fight because I had a black eye, and I had to appeal it and say, hey, I'm a pro athlete. I earned the makeup I had in that video, so please, rethink this and give me my video back. And they did. They put the video back on. So just for having Like
Get on TikTok. Sounds like a great place.
TikTok's a great place.
Do the fucking dances. We mentioned Conor McGregor there, and we're mentioning hate speech or whatever. You see McGregor? I don't know if he's serious or he's joking. He's on about running for Prime Minister, which is like the president of Ireland.
Good for you, bro. Like, he's a smart fucking guy, dude. He knows what he's doing. He knows he could get the and he's got dangerous people around him that protect him as well as his people around him. So I don't know. It's a battle of security armed forces versus security armed forces. And he's like, my competition's this 80-year-old guy and this 78-year-old. And like, I'm young and fresh and I'll tell it like it is. And I got the people's support and this and that. And if he's been getting to the money. He's a huge businessman. Everything he touches makes money, I guess. So why not,
No, exactly. You never know. Hey.
I thought that right away. I was like, could it be me, dude? I can't.
Mike Perry for president. Come on. Donald Trump could do it. The platinum Mike Perry can. Christmas is around the corner, Mike Perry. What are we doing? And by the way, you're a big Star Wars fan, are you? What is that, Boba Fett?
No. So this is the Mandalorian.
Oh, of course. What am I saying?
I love the Mandalorian show where he protects Baby Yoda, and I thought he's so tough. He doesn't say things a lot. He doesn't take off his mask. It's just kind of like the mindset of the Mandalorian. And for Halloween, me and my whole family, my son was Darth Vader. My daughter was kind of Darth Vader. My wife was Princess Leia, Princess Latina, and I was the Mandalorian. And I just like his mindset. And damn, what else? He just asked me something else too.
I don't know. What did I ask you? I said, Christmas.
Christmas. Since the fight, I've been so busy. I haven't really had time. We need to get out of the house. We need to go Christmas shopping. I told my son he's so bad he's not getting anything but clothes for Christmas. I'll probably.
What does he do? What makes him bad?
He doesn't listen. He's always trying to hit his sister, who's a baby girl. He's always like, but she loves him because he doesn't treat her like everyone else treats her. He treats her like, she's his little, he calls her sissy, and he knows she's not like a little toy of his. But he pushes her around. He'll hit her. Smack her.
She's older than him?
No, she's 9 months old and he's about to be 3 in January. Well, he's the big brother, and she loves him so much. She just always crawling over to him, and he just kick her and push her over. It's relationship. And we got some traveling. I'm going to the Devin Haney fight this weekend in San Francisco. Then next week I'm going to UFC. I don't know if you'll be there.
Sadly, I won't. I'm going to be in England. I've got a couple of shows that I'm doing, Tales from the Octagon, where basically I go out, I talk about all the fight world, I make fun, I make jokes out of it all. And then I've got Tom Aspinall on stage with me, and then another fighter, Paul Craig, as well. So we've got 2 big shows, big crowds, a few thousand people coming. We'll have to get you on one of these one day, Mike. I would love that.
It's a fighting show, or it's Tales from the Octagon?
Tales from the Octagon. It's just like we just have fun. No. Yeah. We just come on. We just fucking have a laugh. We have a laugh. There's a big crowd. We have a few drinks. We play some stuff. We answer questions from the audience. It's interactive. The first one was just like my life story, but now it's gone down a different path. Now we're talking about other people's tales, and we'll be talking shit. Paddy's fighting. There's that whole Ian Garry situation. Do you know what I mean? So we'll be having some fun. What do you make of that, by the way? That whole situation.
That's tough. It's a tough one. Situation because, the only ones who can, people want to dig into your personal life. people who they are in this, they are who they are in this world for themselves and for their family and for the life they need to go, the things they need to go through in their life. To each their own, I've had issues with people talk about my relationship, but it was more when my relationship was fresh. Now me and my wife have been together through all these fights together. She's always in the corner, always there supporting, and she's very not in the public eye, and that's her decision. She don't make a bunch of thirsty posts. And I'm not saying that anyone else's does. I'm just saying, we know that there are people out there who just want the attention, want the thirst. They post whatever they can to get attention. But mine is super. She's like, leave me alone. And people have been leaving her alone because we've been so solid together for these past couple of years. We've been winning together. I'm all about family, but I keep it separate. I talk my shit in the ring and the fight, lead ups to the fight between me and my opponent. I don't talk about their family. That I don't take it there. I'm not a dirty scumbag. And, in my opinion, if you want to talk about someone's family, you're going to get into a light. You're going to put yourself into a light that makes you look like an asshole. But I guess it's okay if it works and you win.
Yeah, well, I disagree. I think that when you're fighting, you can say whatever you want about your opponent. That's fair game. And even their coaches, training partners, whatever. I just always said family.
You're a good shit talker, Mike. You are.
Yeah, you can talk shit all you want. Wives, children, all that shit's off the fucking table. There's enough ammunition.
Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That shit should be off the table. And if it's on the fucking table, well, then it's on when I fucking see you as well.
You're digging a hole, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Let me ask you about this. You were just in England recently. You went to this whole shit show of an event. KSI. Who did he fight? Tommy Fury. We had Dillon Danis and Logan Paul. I saw you getting into a bit of a heated debate as well. First of all, just the event in general and your time in England. What did you think?
Manchester was fun, man. It was a good time. The people are so polite. It's a good fan base for fights, the fight game, the combat sports game. They like to talk their shit over there in England. That's what you guys do. You go out to the pub, you drink, you have a few jokes, and you get pissed off, and you guys fight each other outside. And
that's you essentially described my childhood.
It's a good time for sure. I get it. I just hate how I'm so easy to get attention from sometimes. Helwani is, he goes, Virgo's over there cutting a promo on you right now after the face-offs that they had, and I just sat in the back like a good boy all night, just waiting to see what my opportunity would be. I was there to get a tiny little check it's not that tiny. Some people work hard for that money. It was big enough, but it did. I put a lot of work in for that little bit compared to the same amount of work I just put in for much more. So, being a backup's kind of hard for me. I like to fucking actually put on the show. So,
who were you the backup for? Sorry, forgive my ignorance.
I was
Dillon, right?
Yes, and I was the backup.
Shit, what am I saying? Of course, because I saw that. Because I thought, holy fuck, you're going to fight Logan Paul because you actually did the square up. My bad, sorry. I told you I've been hitting the head too much.
No, okay.
Yeah, I saw that shit, and I was like, oh, fuck. Logan has fucked up big time here because he went from fighting Dillon Danis, and I'm not trying to shit on Dillon Danis, but he's not exactly, the man's a jiu-jitsu guy. Let's have it right. To fighting you, that's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, even with gloves on, I'm still going to hit you with that penetrating power. Yes, maybe Logan would have hit me, but with the gloves on, I don't think it's doing the damage that he needs it to do to hurt me in any way. and I'm not going to stop coming. And, you know, Eddie was a shorter guy with much more experience than a Logan Paul. I think you're going to see a lot different fight if I was the one fighting Logan Paul. I'm just going to, you know, I'm going to throw much harder than a Dillon Danis. But, you know, that didn't come to be because I always say if you're facing off with someone, the guy who's standing across from you on the other side of the ring, then it's meant to be, and God put you guys there for a reason. So both of you have a chance. And if it was me facing Logan, I just felt that, you know, it didn't happen because there was no chance for him facing me. Like 6 3-minute rounds, that's a lot of time. It's a lot of time. I'm going to hit him and I'm going to hurt him. But you know, and the people, all the shit talk that went into that fight, Dillon Danis did have some crafty jokes for that fight.
Oh, he fucking went there.
He brought attention. Little cringe that Logan was like, oh, I forgive you before the fight, before he had to go out and fight him. Because that's the emotions of fighters, right? Where sometimes it's terrifying. So he was so afraid. He didn't know how to deal with it. So he just apologizes to this guy who he hates so much. He just keeps apologizing to him. And it's kind of weird how the world works like that sometimes.
What do you think? I mean, there's this whole, I mean, obviously you're doing Bareknuckle. That's something very different. But then there's this whole influencer boxing thing now. Some of them are making real money. God bless them, right? I have no judgment on anyone on what type of form of combat that it is. Right? I know how hard it is firsthand.
Well,
you can make money.
That show a little bit because
say again.
I judged that show a little bit because I feel
that's where I was going.
I feel like, damn, maybe I'm hating a little bit. I don't want to be a hater. I just want to be factual. So the facts are, I saw that crowd, saw the attention that they were receiving, and I just had an amazing crowd in Utah, and I'm grateful for it. That crowd that they had for that fight, and that crowd didn't get the show that they deserved to receive. Those fights were lackluster.
Well, they weren't even fights. They weren't lackluster. It was a load of shit. You had KSI doing fucking jumping jacks, right? And then it went from jumping jacks to then so close that there could be no fighting. They were just hugging. And Dillon and Logan, that was, you know, that's why I did a video after it said it was a robbery, because KSI was saying it was a robbery. Yeah, it was a robbery. Everyone that bought a ticket, they were robbed. You know what I mean? They should be filing a lawsuit, never mind an appeal.
That's why you're the count, man.
Well,
you know what to say, bro. You talk your shit, Bisping. I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here right now.
No, thank you, brother. No, I appreciate it. Happy to be here with you. I'll let you go in a few minutes. You've given up enough of your time. But Jake Paul, what do you think of him? Because he's fighting. Go on, sorry.
That would be a good fight. I would love to get that fight, that opportunity. I know you can look at the fight that I just had with Eddie and think, oh, I can hit him. I could possibly hurt him. Gloves or no, you know, he's not doing the no gloves. It's fine. Let me fight that in. Let me fight Jake. Jake's a real boxer. He's beaten a couple of legends. So he's past the influencer stage. Let me fight him. I'm a real dog. I'm a real fighter. And I will bring him the pressure that he cannot handle. He's about to fight here in Orlando. I'll be out of town. Or I would go to the show. It's not like they would give me any attention anyways. I don't hate on him. I'm not a hater. I'm happy for Jake and all that he's accomplished. He wants a real fight. He wants to test himself. I'm the guy to do it. We've sparred. He hit me in that sparring, and he knows there's no getting rid of me.
Oh, so he hit you with a good shot, and it was no problem.
Oh, yeah, no problem. I wanted it. I think I came out and I was like, I want to see what this Jake Paul right hand punch is doing. And when he hit me with it, I remember it coming down, splitting my guard. Bam! And as I come back, I'm like this. Oh, that was a good one. Come here. And they were like, oh, yeah, you're a sniper. All the people on the outside, his crew, they stopped saying that shit by the fourth round. They stopped all that.
So it was basically one good shot he got you with?
Maybe one or two, yeah, but not too much. And then he started running into my shit because he moves his head like, those boxers do. And I started timing him. I would throw the jab, he would slip, and I would rip the uppercut, and he would slip his head right into it. He took some good shots from me too, but mine don't stop. They keep coming. And he was fighting an 8-round boxing fight, and we only sparred for 6 rounds because he was breaking.
I see. And you're right, he is past the influence of stuff, for sure. And, I've gone back and forth with Jake a little bit. He sent me a bunch of DMs talking shit and all the rest of it. And I've said to him, I've never met you, Jake. I don't know you. I haven't got an issue with you. I just have an issue with you cherry picking old dudes past their prime. You know what I mean? Because we all know what's going on, right? And fair play, you're making money, right? And you can't hate on somebody for that. But stop going on like you're going to beat Canelo Alvarez and all these type of people until you start having real fighters against dudes in their prime. I said, when you do that, I'll have respect. But right now, cherry picking Ben Askren and Tyron Woodley, not talking shit about Tyron. He was an incredible fighter. But as fighters, the fire goes out at some point. You know what I'm saying? I think Tyron, the fire had gone out. Anderson Silva's almost fucking 50 years old. Do you know what I mean? You beat these guys, God bless. Now you got to start fighting some real dogs, some real people in their prime.
Win or lose, no excuses. Silva beat that other boxer,
Chavez.
Chavez. Then he loses to Jake Paul. Silva could have done more in that boxing match. I was surprised to see how he boxed Jake. I know he's a better boxer than that. No matter his age, all his training, he didn't do it right. He didn't land with the right conviction in his punches. Jake got the win there. Good for him. Tyron Woodley had a good first fight with him. I didn't watch the second fight. I just know
you were lucky. I watched it driving home from Las Vegas in the desert, and that's how little action there was. I was still able to have my eyes on the road. Do you know what I mean? I had it on my phone, just like parked up, and like now and again I'd glance, which I shouldn't do. In the middle of the fucking night, everybody, before you start. But there was no action. So I didn't even have to look at the phone.
I can't believe he did that to T. Woodley. I gotta give him respect because I know even if that fire was dimmed, T. Woodley's fire at one time was so large. And, it was a lot of mental tricks in that second fight, like giving T. Woodley the Rolex. There's these things that you can do to your opponent to maybe dim that fire a little more. And he did it, and I wouldn't let him have any of that against me. I would keep my fire as large as possible, and I would give him hell. Now, Jake is doing something that other boxers are not at his stage, at his time, as well as Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury's having a big setup inside first 10 fights. He's doing these huge shows. The other boxers don't do this. They're not fighting huge shows till they're 20-0. They're paying opponents until they're 20-0, and then they'll pay a couple more after they have one real fight and they see a couple mistakes that they have to work on in the gym for a year or two, and they keep building these things up. They literally pay opponents to come in who have records of 10 and 20, and these guys fall down. They not say that they don't necessarily try to win a little bit, but I don't know. So me, I've never fought that way. I always think it's my next life goal to win whatever fight is on the contract, whatever fight is on the line for me. When I step in the ring, I am putting everything I have into it. My legacy, my family, my life, my health, my brain, everything I have is into a fight. And I bring it more, I bring it. It's just proofs in the pudding. So I think that that's a fight that could and should happen because both Paul brothers keep using my name.
Yeah. And you know what? To be honest, you're right. The way you broke down Jake Paul there, I agree. I do agree. But it's just, he's a bit of a tit, if you ask me. So maybe it blurs the vision a little bit. I've only got one eye, so the vision's already blurred. So Jake Paul, in a perfect world, that would be your next fight. Because he's fighting what? He's fighting next week, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here in Orlando, it's actually a small show, about 3,500 people maybe. It's going to be a small pay-per-view. They're trying to build it back up. It's an actual boxer. He's going to get some experience here.
The guy's 10-1. I've looked him up. And to be fair, a lot of boxers at the start of their career, as you said, the way you described them, a lot of them are journeymen. A lot of them, they do go to try and win, but they've lost that many times. They're not really bothered which way, you know what I mean? They've kind of got used to that feeling of losing. They're working full-time jobs as well, and they're training a little bit. And they've kind of resigned themselves to the fact that they're never going to be a champion, but they still love the sport, so that's why they compete. So it's not like taking on like a real contender. But hey, God bless. And I respect every man that steps in the ring, except Dillon Danis.
Why did he come up and push you and then you guys shook it out? Why didn't you fucking get his ass?
Yeah, no. So I'll be honest. That was the first time that I've ever met Dillon Danis, right? And he's talked a lot of shit online, just always online. And I remember a couple of years ago, I was in New York and he was tweeting out, you fucked up, Bisping. You came to my city and you didn't ask for permission. When I see you, it's on. I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are? Right? And then when I was walking through MSG, he was like trying to get at me and his boys were holding him back. And I was like, are you fucking serious? And then I think Ali Abdelaziz slapped him in the face and he got thrown out. So anyway, all this stuff, and kind of like with Masvidal, right? I saw him at the fight recently, and I just started laughing. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know if he's serious. And he started laughing. I went, "What's up, man?" It's the first time I'd ever met him, so we had a laugh. And I'll be honest, that was a little staged thing. I said, should we give the people on fucking online something to freak out about? So that was all bullshit. That was just.
I think Dillon is trying to go into the wrong companies. I think he needs to go towards the WWE.
WWE would be good. Mixed martial arts because of his jiu-jitsu. But yeah, I don't think boxing's the one. But anyway, fair play to him. We're all trying to do our things with the skill sets that we have. He
called me out.
I saw that.
He said, fuck it, let's do a bare knuckle for the belt. Come on, man.
Hey, let's just say they came to you and said, Dillon Danis, that's the next opponent. He's agreed to it. Would you do that?
Of course.
Yeah. No, I know. I don't mean, would you fight Dillon Danis? I mean, would you waste your time?
They're going to talk shit no matter who. But that's the thing, too. Does he come to that?
Yes.
Does he go? Well, we would need a backup opponent for sure.
You would need the backup opponent. Mike, I'm going to let you go, buddy. Always a pleasure. Christmas Day, where are you going to be at home with the family?
Yeah, we're trying. Yep, definitely.
Oh.
There's so many places to be, so many people to see. I'm like, damn, I'm the king now. Who's coming to see me? I'm going to stay at home, pay my bills, eat my, use my DoorDash and order some food and just fucking stay here. And, why does anybody...
In fact, I've got a couple of other quick questions. You got brothers and sisters?
I do.
Yeah.
I have half brothers and half sisters and step brothers and step sisters. Crystal, Nikki, Jay, Anthony, Melissa. These are my steps and half brothers and sisters. I mean, Jay, Crystal, Nikki, they're my full brothers and sisters, and they have families. My one sister has two sons who praying for my nephew right now. He just had, he had surgery when he came out when he was a baby, and he's just gone back into the hospital and having issues. And but he's gone back home now. They stuffed him up with antibiotics, and he's back at home healing up right now, and hopefully gets stronger than ever. He's such a good kid, such a smart kid. My sisters raised their children so great, and my other sister Crystal, she has 2 daughters. And my nieces and nephews, their names are Aaliyah and Andrea and Ethan and Ezra. And shout out to them, man. My family, love them so much.
And of course, our best wishes as well to your little nephew. So I was going to say, I have a big family as well, right? But I've always got to go to them. I live in America. I come to England and they expect me going all over the place, and they all get mad. Oh, you didn't come to see me. I'm like, why don't you come see me?
Yeah.
I live by Disneyland. Come see fucking me. Or when I'm in England, all come to where I am. So I haven't got to go everywhere. Why is it my responsibility, for fuck's sake? You know what I mean? Anyway, UFC 296, the main event, Leon Edwards, Colby Covington, your old division. Who will be the champion of the world?
Leon Smart.
Yeah.
Leon Smart. He's capable. He's a capable wrestler. He got to deal with Colby's pressure. I think Colby's wrestling does set up his awkward striking. It does work for him sometimes, but he's been sitting on the outside. Who deserves it? I think Leon deserves the win. I think Leon puts more into it, more passion, more actual fighter mentality. Like, he waited and waited while fighting to get his title shot and won it, and he went through hell. Colby has just kind of been a mouth that got attention. He's had great fights. His last fight was Jorge Masvidal. It was a 25-minute fight. And he just wrestled, and it was boring how he won it. So, and then he sit back and he waits all this time until he fights again. It's something, I don't know, if it matters who actually deserves it. In my opinion, Leon does. So, then what? Do I root USA? It's not about that at that point, because that guy don't speak for USA as far as I'm concerned. So,
that's an interesting statement. He's flying the flag. He's got Donald Trump in the building. Donald Trump's walking him out. He's got the mugshot of Donald Trump on the suit. Trump signed it. He's gonna be there.
I know. That's like just compete. I guess I got to see things right first, like the week, the moments that they get to face off against each other, how the things that Colby's going to say, it depends on everything he says this week as it leads up to that fight. If it's obviously vulgar, can be entertaining if it's true, but then does he go too far? Does he take it here and there? And then how does he compete after the things he's going to say? I know everybody talks about his cardio and he works so hard and this and that. I don't wish bad on people, man. I really don't. I wish good for people. And in my opinion, Leon is more deserving of the good. Okay. All right. Well, I think we'll leave that there, buddy. I've taken up about an hour of your time. Mike, it's a pleasure. Congrats again at the weekend. Honestly, big respect, man. Massive, massive respect. Thank you so much. Enjoy the holidays with your family. You too. Let's do this again soon.